Right?
Here.
Yes, yeah, I've been watching that.
It's a good thing I don't sit there and never say.
How are you doing?
Okay. My other knee was shot. No, now I'm on, Ellis's. Yeah, they said it's probably gone by now.
Yeah.
It takes a couple months to dissipate.
Well, it's all.
Not my knees, I'm thinking my foot. They have no idea what came from. You know what happened? You think that, I mean, I fought so hard, I thought it was
Isn't that, she did well.
Oh, they're on.
I couldn't think of
I don't know. Feels like you're doing better. It's scary.
Yeah. That was a honk.
Yeah.
Did what? Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, Now I got you. Too cute.
Anyway, I've read this really good article, and I've been, of course, I read those kind of articles all the time, but, probably to my detriment too. Sometimes I go, like, you know what, this is, we're gonna be confronted, you know. Just 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry, finish up, I'm sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say, my brother and I are coming to that tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
That's really good.
Should be interesting.
I wanna go.
You know Dan Linden?
What?
You know Dan Linden? The guy that's leading it, that organization?
What's his last name?
Linden, L-I-D-O-N.
I don't think so.
He's the,
For all the years I was involved with that original thing.
well, he'll be very relaxed.
You know, sometimes if I see somebody, I go, man, I never knew his last name.
Yeah.
Something like that. What? Yeah. Cause he said he'd be interested in going, so.
Yeah, he'll,
Plus, you know me and book band, I'm so upset about even talking, and now I'm so mad at the state of Texas. I hope they do succeed. I hope they do. I can't believe what they did, I can't believe it.
I missed the latest, it's on yesterday that I didn't see. Oh.
And then, the thing I've done was, well, you know, the meeting is supposed to be 18 to 21-year-olds because of luck, that's what they need, those A1, 15, because there might be a riot, that's why they I say just give it
Yes,
Oh, what? Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, the roll call, everyone is here except the mayor, and he won't be attending tonight because of the perceived conflict of interest. If that's the case. We need to adopt the agenda, which is conduct an annual performance evaluation for clerk treasurer Elizabeth Nealey. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved. employee, I caught on. This is an employee evaluation. Procedure is very straightforward. Each council member will review their own evaluation. Once the evaluations are completed by the council members, then Ms. Nealey will have 5 minutes to give a response and address any issues raised by council members. After that, then the city council will vote on what they intend to do. There's no public comment. This is strictly the council members and Ms. Nealey.
Can you hear me all right?
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't,
a little louder.
a little louder. I heard what you said,
After I gave that
Mr. Chairman,
wonderful speech last week.
Larry, we really can't
Try
hear.
it again.
I know, she's trying to.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
Better?
I can shout too for that. I prefer not to. So does everyone understand? Okay.
Okay, do you want it to review again, or did you not hear enough? Okay.
I
good.
never heard enough, yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna each go down the line here and do an evaluation. We've got a premium form we always use, so we'll be going by the same one. That we've done for other employees. So, Troy, you wanna start it up? We can just go right down the line here and.
Okay, I will start it out. Hello, Elizabeth. This is my second evaluation of you. I remember the first one, I was newly elected, and I was really unsure of what I was gonna say, what I was gonna do, because I didn't really have a lot of information. And I need to tell you, I'm a little unsure tonight as well. Just because of the past year and what everything's been going through, what everybody's been going through. I'm not sure about myself and how I can really objectively, I will do my best, but objectively evaluate your performance based on what's been happening over the past year. One of the first things I noticed when I looked at the evaluation was number 5, the rating points, the highest would be consistently exceeds expectations. And I asked myself, what's been consistent about the past year? What's been conventional about the past year? How can I make an objective analysis of the employee's performance, considering what's been going on? So my first comment on your evaluation kind of sets the stage for why I chose what I chose for the numbers. And then I will have, when I'm done with my evaluation, I have another comment pertaining to your performance over the past year. My first comment is that my evaluations are based on working conditions and work environment under which this employee was subjected prior to this performance review. So all my evaluations are based on that comment. Quality of work, knowledge, job skills, I gave you a 4. Efficient, productive, and initiative, I gave you a 3. And I just want to remind you, myself, that 3 meets expectations, 4 exceeds expectations, and 5 is consistently exceeds expectations. Based on what's happened over the past year, I don't know. It's difficult to evaluate or reach a conclusion that you have consistently exceeded expectations based on, I don't have enough information. There's nothing consistent. There's nothing conventional about the past year. So stays informed and works with consultants, I gave you a 3. Responsibility, takes council direction, accurate, coordinates with committees and commissions. Here I gave you a 4. I think you've been challenged in the past year based on what you know to be right and true, and there were times in the past year where that conflicted with the council direction that you were given. So I think in the long run, that made you better prepared, actually a better employee. I think you gained a lot of knowledge about different issues. For example, open meeting law. I think you gained a lot of information about the legalities, not only of a council meeting, council members, the way a city should be run, and the way employees should conduct themselves, and council members for that matter. Organization, I gave you a 3, that's efficient and productive. Public contact, I also gave you a 3. There have been challenges here, I think that that led me to that number, to meeting expectations. Supervisory skills, I gave you a 4. Maintains knowledge, one of the criteria under this is maintains knowledge of personnel policy. And I think you've gained a lot of information, a lot of education on personnel policy. And while I'm there, can you, well, I don't know if I can ask you now, but can you tell me what level of certification you have?
Councilmember Anderson, that would be when
It's
Elizabeth.
Anderson. It's
I'm
Anderson.
sorry, Anderson. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
Troy, I apologize.
That's all right.
Councilmember Troy, I would suggest that that be saved until Ms. Nealey has a chance to respond.
Okay.
So you might want to make a note of that, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Supervisory skills we covered. Council and meetings, attends and prepares for council meetings. One of the first things that came to my mind here was your work, your diligence in making the treasurer's report available to me and to the whole council after I asked for it. That has since been missing. I think it's a vital part of how we should do our jobs as council members. I think we should know what the balances are of all the funds on a consistent basis so we can make decisions about budget and other things that are going on. We had a discussion last week actually about the roads, and I think if we had those numbers in front of us consistently on a monthly basis, we'd make better informed decisions and be better public servants for it. Planning and zoning, assist zoning administrator. This has its own challenges on its own. You know, I think you did the best you could in the environment that you were working in to at least make attempts to communicate and get things done. There are other people having those challenges with the zoning department as well, as far as communication, so you're not alone there. City finances prepares the financial statements, monitors budget, and assists in the year-end audit. I do know that before you were put on administrative leave, you were working with the auditors. And as far as I know, Brad was here last week. He never said that there was any situations or issues. I did bring up invoicing approval and ask if any staff member had brought that to his attention, and he did not have an answer for me at that time. So, and that was a 4. So that was my evaluation. And my initial comments, and then I have additional comments that I would like to submit with your evaluation as a statement. Performance reviews should be an opportunity for the city council to offer constructive discipline for city employees. It's a council member's opportunity to make suggestions on how an employee can improve in their role as a public servant. Any disciplinary action taken by the city council should be constructive and improve the public service and public services received by our citizens. For the past year, staff liaisons on this council have not been constructive when evaluating your level of public service or your performance, but dismissive. The pay equity non-compliance notice issued by the state of Minnesota on your behalf was dismissed. The fact that there was any pay equity non-compliance issue in the first place was dismissive. The hostile work environment and gender discrimination grievance you filed with this council was dismissed. Repeated requests for volunteer or part-time assistance in the office were dismiss. At last, but certainly not least, putting you on administrative leave was dismissive. Members of this council decided to pay you with taxpayer dollars to leave. This dismisses you and the taxpayers. Because this council has chosen to follow this dismissive attitude toward your grievance and your requests, the city of Taylor's Falls now finds itself with 3 paid, part-time employees, a closed office, nobody answering the phones, missed filing deadlines, lost documents, permit issues, a council member working in the office, and probably a host of other public service deficiencies and violations that I am not even aware of. I am not going to deny the reality of the situation in which this council and the city finds itself. The wheels are coming off. As much as this performance review was supposed to be a review of your service, your public service, and your performance, it turns out it's a review of the council's. In my opinion, we're flailing and failing. Finally, I want to thank you. There's a saying that you can't fight City Hall. That is untrue. Perhaps you don't always win, but you can always fight. As a newly elected council member and on behalf of the people who support you, I'm inspired by your diligence and your determination to keep fighting for what you believe is right and showing up here tonight. Those are my comments.
Okay, thank you, Troy. Okay, it's up next here.
Can you go close to the mic here?
Yeah, she, will have a chance.
Can you go close to the mic?
Oh, okay, sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna go through it just like Troy did. List each one, give a short, brief explanation of it.
Could you speak up a little bit?
Oh.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm gonna, like I say, just like Troy did, go through each one, give the score and a short, explanation on each one. So starting out with number 1, quality of work, knowledge, and job skills. I give Elizabeth a 1, does not follow state law, and the data breach policy in the Joan Quaid report kind of explains that. Efficiency, productive, and initiative, same thing, I gave her a 1. Poor organization and filing in the office. Some of the files in the office are over 2 years old, have not been filed. Number 3, stays informed, works with consultants. For that one, I gave her a 1 also. Does not send to other departments request forms from the state. Example would be the Fire Department Release Association verification. Was not sent to the fire chief to fill out, which is going to be costly to the city, with hopefully not a large penalty. And get back to the consultants and liquor license applications report, we're sending them into the state. Number 4, responsibility, same thing, a 1, failure to notify the council and mayor of state pay equity report before submitting. 5 is organization, a 1, unable to complete work in a reasonable amount of time, does not send out water bills or cash checks in a timely manner. 6 is public contact, 1, does not answer phone calls or return calls in a reasonable amount of time. 7 is supervisory skills, 1, does not follow state laws, referring back to the data practice breach in the Joan Quaid report. 8 is council meetings. Council meetings are missed. Some information on the city computer was deleted. Everything on the city's cell phone was deleted, which gave us, we didn't have a lot of information at the end. Planning and zoning, 2, there's poor communication or no communication with the zoning administrator and the treasurer clerk. Finally, city finances, a 1, does not pay bills in a timely manner. reference Excel bills, fire department bills, Menards gas card, Minnesota sales and use. So all in all, it's not a good report, and that's what I've seen, in the last year. That's all I've got. Or if you wanna
Sure.
do yours.
Mine gonna follow a little bit different format, in that I'm going to go through the 10 evaluation points and just give my numerical rating. And then I'm gonna sum it all up in my supporting
Can't hear you.
Hello? Okay, I'm gonna follow a slightly different format in that I'm gonna go through the 10 performance evaluation criteria and just give my numerical rating. And in my supporting comments, I'll, probably sum up all of my reasons for the rating points. So, quality of work, knowledge, job skills, a 1. Efficient, productive, initiative, a 1. Stays informed, works with consultants, a 2. Responsibility, takes council direction, accurate, coordinates with committees, commissions, a 1. Organization, efficient and productive, multitask and implementation, a 1. Public contact, interaction with public, interaction with staff, committee, commissions, council, interaction with intergovernmental agencies, a 1. Supervisory skills, maintains knowledge of personnel policy, assess work attendance and duties, implement work rules, a 1. Council and meetings, attends and prepares council meetings, performs council-directed tasks, a 1. Planning and zoning, 1. City finances, I gave her a 2. Now my supporting comments, and believe me, we do not take this lightly, these comments and this evaluation. This is an attempt to, get the city back on the tracks. Over the course of the last year, the quality and quantity of Clerk Treasurer Nealey's work has declined to the point where it's put the city and its residents in an unacceptable position. Late water bills or not getting water bills at all, Excel energy bill not getting paid, when running the risk of having electricity shut off in all the city buildings. Liquor licenses not being submitted. Non-payment of the Menards card and the gas card, putting the fire department at risk of not being able to fill their trucks in case of an emergency. And therefore not being able to respond in an emergency situation. Late payments for expense reimbursement to the fire chief. Late payments to Core and Main. This is the company that tests our water samples for quality and health. Late payment to the Minnesota Department of Revenue for sales and/or use tax. These issues fall into the category of unacceptable and makes it difficult to conduct the city business efficiently and to be a benefit to the residents. And that's what I have.
Mine's a little different, follows pretty much what Ross did. I'll go for the number, and when you rate somebody very high, you have to give a qualifying rating for that. If you rate somebody very low, you have to do the same. Quality of work, knowledge and job skills, I gave a 1. Phone calls and emails are going unanswered. This has forced many in the community and stakeholders, for example, title companies, vendors, and suppliers, to write letters, email, call council members directly, or to reach out to others within the community that have no idea what those answers are. This causes a breakdown in communication and does not reflect well on the city. Efficient, productive initiative, I gave a 1. This has not processed changes in home ownership, address changes, or citizen queries for water and sewer billings. Again, this causes a breakdown in communication and does not reflect well on the city. Stays informed, works with consultants. I can't directly address consultant, but I can mention the communications with the title companies has not been working well. This causes a breakdown in communication and does not reflect well on the city. Offering away, responsibility. Offering a way to help out, I sat with our clerk and then wrote up the processes for a portion of the Banyan system that I learned with her. Later, I gave her a document and asked her to review it and let me know that I had the procedures correct. I never received a reply, and after a number of times, it forced me to take the online training. Organization. The clerk has verbalized many times that she has too much work to do. I have offered my help at least a dozen times. She has rebuffed my offers. When I became personnel liaison, I made it a top priority to learn the Banyan system so I could offer assistance. The clerk indicated, quote, assisting her is not the responsibility of a council member. Therefore, I stopped offering assistance. Additionally, I've asked for and never received a priority of duties list so we could review together and potentially move some tasks. I have not, this falls under the same. I have not been able to locate any tapes or minutes for a number of months in 2021 and the early months of 2022. I remember the clerk mentioning the tape recorder was not working correctly, so she was recording on the city cell phone. However, we don't have a backup. Public contact. Does not answer phones or stay in touch with our community members, vendors, etc. She never responds to their calls or emails. This causes a breakdown in communication and does not reflect well on the city. How you interact with the council and our meetings. During one of our employee meetings, you and I, we discussed how things were going. When I thought we were finished, actually getting up to leave, you stood up and got between the door and myself and let me know you were not done. I then had to sit back down and listen to what was at issue. In that case, it was regarding a firefighter trying to push and bully his way into the city offices to discuss his water bill. This was after hours. I confirmed with you, acknowledging that this kind of a situation would be scary and that you should never let anyone in after hours. Additionally, if this were to happen again, she needed to contact me directly or the police would be called. Next one, I believe it was September, and we were reviewing the budget during a council meeting when I mentioned that I had provided input for some department budgets. The clerk got extremely enraged and got in my face asking where and when I met with this someone to pass along the budget information, then accused me of violating open meeting laws. This was such an egregious act. From that moment on, I have been fearful of sitting next to her and attending council meetings, and this continues to this day. When I put in my resignation, although it was rescinded, the clerk took it upon herself without council direction or authorization to place strikeouts lines through my online information. On several occasions, she was asked by the vice mayor to remove the strikeouts. It took many months to correct that. Additionally, since you were supposedly knowledgeable in the ordinances and statutes, you would know that it requires the council to act on an agenda item to allow me to resign. I didn't know that either. Additionally, this didn't happen. Additionally, my relationship with other cities have suffered due to their not knowing if I was still a council member with the city of Taylor's Falls or not. This causes a breakdown in communication and does not reflect well on the city. I meant to say up on supervision and planning and zoning, I gave a 0 because you're not affected by those. You don't do planning and zoning and you don't supervise anybody. City finances, the last one. The FA1 fireman's annual report to the state was not completed in a timely manner, and as a result, their pension fund allocation distribution will be reduced by 35%. The Minnesota Gambling Control Board did not receive their 2021 LG 510 report by March 15th. I'm not sure what the consequences are of those, perhaps a penalty. Additionally, I've asked the chair of the CERT team to go directly to the clerk and ask her for the current balance for the CERT fund. He was only given an amount that was budgeted for 2022, which was $100. They wanted to purchase a laptop, but they do not know what the amount, if any, unused funds were that may have rolled over to 2022. They were looking for an account balance. Late or partial payments to vendors, suppliers, this is an unacceptable practice and was never authorized. The mayor had to handwrite checks until we were secure on the Valiant system. That's it.
Thank you. Elizabeth, would you like to speak for 5 minutes on any of the issues brought up?
I disagree with the accusations. They are not true, and I look forward to refuting them with my attorneys.
Anything else?
No,
Okay, thank you.
Our council needs to guide us.
Chad, would you like to give a recommendation on how to proceed?
At this time, there are 3 different steps you could take. You could simply reinstate Ms. Nealey. You could reinstate her with the plan of improvement, or you could terminate the employment.
Okay.
Those require a motion.
Okay, does anyone?
I would like to make a motion. The clerk has been put on a performance evaluation plan and did not meet those goals in a timely manner by the date of April of 2021. And I would vote, I'd like to move a motion to terminate our relationship with the clerk.
To clarify, you mean terminate the employment.
Terminate the employment with the clerk, with the city of Taylor's Falls.
If that's what the board intends to, I'm sorry, the council intends to do, there needs to be findings made as well.
As a point of order, may I read proposed findings into the record?
Well, there hasn't been a second yet, so we don't have a.
Right, you have to second or,
Second the motion.
Okay, motion made second.
Okay, so as a point of order, I'd like to make a friendly amendment to read the proposed findings into the record.
Got that right.
So, in addition to the results of the investigations by Michelle Soldo and Joan Quaid, we have notes and documented these proposed findings. Category 1, unauthorized use of or damage to city property. 1, changed access to video surveillance cameras to delete other city employees and deputy sheriff, requiring the city to pay camera company to restore access. Number 2, unauthorized disconnect of surveillance camera and removal. Number 3, the removal of city data from city-issued phone and deleted emails and electronic documents from city laptop, requiring city to have IT attempt to receive documents. Category 2, unauthorized absences from work. 1, continued absences from work during regular business hours. Category 3, violated law, legal repercussions. Number 1, violation of Minnesota Data Practices Act. Number 2, filed false pay equity report. Number 3, falsely stated to a liquor license holder that he was authorized to sell alcohol. Category 4, failure and refusal to perform assigned duties and work directives. Number 1, March of 2021, filing a pay equity report with the Minnesota Management and Budget Office without council approval. Number 2, June of 2021, failure to notify mayor in a timely manner of adverse finding regarding the pay equity. Number 3, fall of 2021, terminating council computer access to city clerk's computer and limiting access to only her. Number 4, 2021 to 2022, failure to provide accurate minutes, inserting her own opinion, and additional failure to complete minutes in a timely manner. 5, January/February 2022, failure to pay invoices in a timely manner, late payments, expense reimbursement to the fire chief, and past due invoices from Core and Main going back to 2021. 6, ongoing failure to deposit or track resident checks, to return phone calls, to cooperate with city council and city staff, displayed hostility to and including council members and staff. Number 7, March of 2022, failure to sign off on liquor licenses approved by council. Number 8, March of 2022, failure to pay credit card Menards invoice leading to credit card denial. Public Works could not get fuel for the truck. Number 9, April of 2022, failure to process liquor licenses correctly, sent unsigned liquor license to business owner. Number 10, May of 2022, notice from the Minnesota Department of Revenue regarding failure to pay sales and/or use tax on time. Late payments of June 30th, 2020, September 30th, 2020, and again September 30th, 2021, and December 31st, 2021. Number 11, failure to submit timesheets for authorization we cannot locate timesheets.
City Hall has spoken.
What was that?
City Hall has spoken.
Is there any further discussion on this?
What's that?
Just a comment.
Please, only, at this point in time, only council members can speak. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, George. That was it. No, I
Okay,
no comment.
okay, then we have a motion on the floor. I call for a vote. Who's all in favor of the motion? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed to the motion?
Opposed?
Opposed. Motion carries. At this point, Chad, could you give us recommendation on
Mr. Chair, there is an additional motion that must be made. The council has to authorize the city attorney to send. Okay. Sorry, I will start again. At this point in time, the city council has to instruct the attorney, or authorize the attorney, I should say, city attorney, to send a Loudermilk notice to Ms. Nealey. A Loudermilk notice is a notice of a hearing which she's entitled to under due process. And also, you should be setting a date for that Loudermilk hearing as well. There has to be enough time given so that Ms. Nealey has a chance to respond and review the notice I will be sending her.
Okay. So we need a motion for that, you're saying?
Yes, a notice of motion to, again, direct the city attorney to send a notice of Loudermilk hearing to Ms. Nealey, and also to set a date for the Loudermilk hearing.
I motion to set a Loudermilk hearing by our city attorney and set a date.
Correct.
I
I will
motion
second.
that.
Second.
But what date do you want to set for that?
Oh, I thought you would be basing it upon your,
No, I can't do that. The city council has to set the date for the hearing.
How about,
Okay.
how about next Monday, week from today?
27th?
Yep.
Can I ask the city attorney, this is to comply with state statute, federal statute?
It's actually comply with a state district court, a state Supreme Court decision called the Loudermilk matter,
Okay.
which creates the necessity for a Loudermilk hearing. That's where the name came from.
Yep. So motion to set the, let's have the attorney submit the Loudermilk and set the date for the 27th of June. Second, anybody?
I'll second it. Okay, I have a motion, second. Any other discussion on it?
I would actually, I wanted to request, since there were findings made into the record, I couldn't write that fast, so if I could receive a written copy, I would appreciate it.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Like I say, any other discussion on it?
No.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, Chad, would be no other further business?
No further business.
Okay.
Chad, will that hearing be open? Open.
Wait.
I'm glad you asked that question, though, really, the audience can't ask questions. I do not believe the water is going to be open, but I will make a point to get that taken care of immediately. And we will, if they aren't open, if they are open, it'll be Ms. Nealey's decision whether they're open or closed. And we'll have to wait for her decision. if that's possible. My understanding is water mill hearings are supposed to be closed, but again, I'll verify to make sure we want to do this right.
Okay, and can I, that's all the business of tonight, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So, do we have a time on that? Okay.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
All right.
Motion to adjourn,
Murphy, Earl.
so, simple, Larry.
Second.
Like, Mary, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're adjourned tonight.